When I did my interview with President Trump last week, he said that he might veto a bill that did not include a payroll tax cut. And that now is gone from all the discussions. Why did the administration cave on that so quickly?
Well, in our conversations with Pelosi and Schumer, it was very clear that the Democrats were not going to give us a payroll tax cut. But the money goes
sir,
in
fair,
over...
If I may, just briefly, it wasn't just Democrats. There were a number of Republicans who rejected this. I want to put them up on the screen. Some of the top Republican leaders in the Senate, John Thune, John Cornyn, Chuck Grassley, the head of Senate Finance, they all said they had no interest in that as well. So you got blowback not just from Democrats, but from some top Republicans as well.
There were other Republicans that supported it. And let me just say, again, we know we need bipartisan support.
Chris Wallace is right. The payroll tax cut was so egregiously in favor of the very wealthy that only 10 to 12 of the most extreme Senate Republicans presumably were in favor of it. You know how far-right, pro-wealthy, grifting, extreme, horrific a tax cut has to be that the Republican Party opposes it? A tax cut for the wealthy? And that's what the payroll tax cut is. It's an Orwellian term for the gutting of Social Security and Medicare. Trump demanded the payroll tax cut, but luckily Senate Republicans opposed it. All the payroll tax cut does is cut the money normally going into your Social Security and Medicare, so that money wouldn't be taken out of paychecks. Studies show that the top percentage of the country would be disproportionately helped, with the 1% saving nearly $52,000 on average, the top 15% saving an average of $3,750, and the bottom 20% saving just $250. And most importantly, it guts Social Security and Medicare temporarily, but the Republicans would try to make it permanent. So it would completely dismantle the entire system going forward. And I know MMT says the money from the payroll tax doesn't necessarily go directly into Medicare and Social Security, which is true. There's all this financial machinations so that it could go to the military industrial complex, etc. But theoretically, that is the proportion of tax dollars allocated to those programs. And then Republicans would do away with it. That's what this would do. And secondly, maybe even more importantly than that, I don't know, pick your poison here. It doesn't help any of the Americans who are laid off, unemployed, not on payroll. The people who need the most relief, the payroll tax cut does nothing to help them. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers, and that's why, luckily, the Senate GOP shut it down. Most economists, even conservative ones, do not rank a payroll tax cut anywhere close to the top of their list for best ways to support and stimulate the American economy as it struggles to climb out of the recession. They say it will cost a lot in lost tax revenues while doing little to induce hiring, while not doing much for laid-off workers who have few prospects at a time when 30 million Americans are unemployed. Economists have warned since March that such a move would not help those workers. Business groups also have shown little enthusiasm for the plan, which is why the Republicans are against it mostly. We can provide more targeted assistance both to employers to help maintain employment, but also to individuals who are unemployed. Neil Bradley, the executive vice president and chief policy officer of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, told reporters last week. Mr. Trump had been pushing Republicans to include the tax cut in the bill they will introduce to kick off the next round of negotiations with Democrats, but his own party has balked. Senator Charles E. Grassley of Iowa, the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, pushed back against the idea in a private Senate Republican lunch attended by top administration officials on Tuesday, arguing that direct payments to families, which would probably be sent out in October, would prove more meaningful to individual voters. Senate Republicans have to worry about getting reelected, like Chuck Grassley there. Mnuchin, he's just in it for the short-term grift, to get as much money as he can in his pockets. Trump, he can't really see past that. That's the only way he sees things. And remember, he ran promising that he would not touch Social Security and Medicare, to many cheers from his supporters. But that's what the Orwellian term does, the payroll tax cut. It sounds good if you don't look into it, and then it's horrific.